I can't do the unveil before the unveil. I think it has a shot at being the most memorable product unveil ever. It has a shot.
Tesla just launched a Model Y, but the price alone raises a bigger question. At roughly $40,000, this is not a true affordability breakthrough. It is an awkward middle option. And if recent leaks and supplier activity are even partly accurate, that awkwardness might be by design, because this version of the Model Y does something strange. It feels cheaper, but not cheap enough. It removes features, but keeps the price close to better trims, and that puts buyers in an uncomfortable position, right when Tesla is rumored to be preparing something much more important. So here is the decision that actually matters. Should you buy the Model Y Standard today, or is Tesla quietly positioning a cheaper, more meaningful car for 2026? That question is not just about patience. It is not just about waiting for the next model. It is about avoiding one specific mistake that hurts more than paying too much, buying right before Tesla resets what good value looks like. In this video, we are going to break down why the Model Y Standard feels like a bridge instead of a destination, what the leaks really suggest about Tesla's next affordable car, and how to think about this decision without regret. Stay until the end, because this is not a hype discussion. It is a buyer decision, and if you are thinking about purchasing a Tesla in the next year or two, this choice could matter more than the badge on the back. Why the budget Model Y can feel like a trap for value buyers. Tesla now lists a lower-priced Model Y Standard in the United States, but the starting price still does not align with what most people imagine when they hear the word affordable. For many buyers, affordable means a clear step into a new category, something that feels like smart value, not a reluctant compromise, and this is where the tension begins. Here is the real problem. The Model Y Standard is not cheap in a true mass market sense. It is cheap in a trimmed-down sense. That difference matters more than it sounds. A mass market vehicle is designed from the beginning to deliver value at a lower price. A trimmed-down vehicle reaches a lower price by taking things away. Those two approaches create very different ownership experiences. When a car removes features but stays close to the price of better trims, it puts buyers in a frustrating position. You are forced into a choice that never feels good. Spend more than plan to get the experience you actually wanted, or spend less and accept a version that constantly reminds you of what is missing. Neither option feels like a win. That is why the Model Y Standard sits in the worst possible place. It cuts too much to feel premium, but it does not drop far enough to feel like a new value category. It exists in an uncomfortable middle ground, where the compromises are obvious but the savings do not feel satisfying. And this creates a very personal risk for buyers. Nobody wants to buy the Tesla that aged the worst. Picture this scenario. You stretch your budget and buy the affordable Model Y. 6 months later, Tesla unveils a smaller car that delivers what you actually needed for thousands less. Same brand, same software ecosystem, same charging network, but cleaner value. Your car still works. Your car is still fine. Yet emotionally, it starts to feel like the wrong chapter in the story. Not because you made a bad decision, but because the market moved right after you committed. That is why the Model Y Standard matters. Not because it is a bad car, but because it may be a bridge, a temporary step between where Tesla has been and where its real affordability strategy is headed. The hidden strategy behind the standard trim. When a company releases a standard version that feels slightly uncomfortable, it usually serves one of two purposes. Option 1, boost volume with a lower price, even if margins shrink. Option 2, keep buyers inside the ecosystem while a more important product gets ready. Right now, the second option looks increasingly plausible, because Tesla has a gap in its lineup that a trimmed Model Y cannot truly solve. A vehicle designed from the ground up to be affordable, not a vehicle made affordable by subtraction. That is why you keep hearing the same rumor from different directions. a smaller Tesla, around 20 to 25% cheaper than the Model Y Standard, aimed at mass adoption. Call it Model 2, call it Model Q, the name is marketing, the platform is the story. Now, Tesla has not officially unveiled this car. Leaks can be wrong, timelines can slip, but the reason this rumor keeps coming back is simple. If Tesla wants the next wave of growth, it needs a product that expands the buyer pool, not a trim that reshuffles it. Buy now or wait, and why the answer is not obvious. Let us bring the stakes back, because this is the moment where your decision becomes real. By the end of this breakdown, you should have a clear way to choose between two paths. Buy the Model Y Standard now, or wait for the cheaper Tesla that could arrive in 2026. This is not about guessing the future. It is about understanding Tesla's direction. Before you can decide, you need to understand what Tesla is actually doing behind the scenes. Most people look at a car and see styling, features, and price. Tesla looks at the same car and sees something very different. It sees a list of parts, processes, and steps that can be removed, simplified, or redesigned. Tesla is not only building vehicles. Tesla is building a manufacturing system that is designed to get faster, leaner, and cheaper with every generation. That is where the real cost savings come from. They do not come from cutting comfort features like heated seats or premium materials. Those are small changes with limited impact. The biggest savings come from changing how the entire vehicle is built. Fewer parts, fewer assembly steps, less time on the production line, lower cost per car at scale. That is why, if Tesla is serious about reaching a $30,000 starting point, this car cannot be cheaper by accident. It cannot be cheaper because of temporary discounts or feature cuts. It has to be cheaper by design from the ground up. The real leak is not the styling, it is the production logic. Most people get distracted by exterior talk, headlights, body lines, hatchback versus sedan, but Tesla wins or loses this project on production. Tesla has spent years chasing the same goal: fewer parts, faster assembly, lower cost per unit. If you reduce parts, you reduce steps. If you reduce steps, you reduce time. If you reduce time, you reduce cost. That is why structural simplification and large cast components matter so much. A smaller vehicle can be easier to simplify, faster to build, and faster to ramp. And if Tesla ramps this car quickly, it can reshape pricing pressure across the lineup. Now, here is what that means for you as an owner. Manufacturing changes do not only affect the sticker price, they can affect ownership. If Tesla succeeds at simplification, you might see 3 real outcomes. 1. A lower starting price. 2. Faster production, which often triggers price movement. 3. Different repair economics. Because if more of the structure is built in large pieces, some repairs can shift from replace a small section to this is a bigger job that can change cost and time. So yes, manufacturing sounds boring, but it is often the difference between cheap to buy and cheap to live with. Battery talk and what you should treat carefully. Now, let us talk about the loudest claims: charging speed and range. Whenever you hear extreme numbers, slow down. Real-world results depend on temperature, charging conditions, pack design, and software limits. But the direction of the strategy makes sense. Low-cost battery chemistry is a key tool for affordability. Tesla already uses that approach in parts of its lineup. The historical trade-offs have been energy density and charging speed, especially in cold weather. If Tesla can pair low cost with better charging performance, it unlocks a smarter strategy. Use a pack that is not oversized. Keep range good enough. Rely on charging speed to reduce anxiety. And here is the human translation. If you can add meaningful range in the time it takes to grab a coffee and check your phone, good enough, range starts to feel very different. That is why this rumored car matters. A $30,000 Tesla that delivers around 300 miles of real-world range does not just change the spec sheet. It changes the monthly math of owning a car. The interior trade-offs you will actually feel. If Tesla builds a true entry-level car, it will not feel like a discounted Model Y. It will feel like a different product with a different promise. That promise is access. So expect trade-offs some buyers will dislike: a smaller screen, simpler materials, a more basic sound system, less insulation, fewer comfort extras. Tesla may also keep pushing minimal controls to reduce complexity and speed assembly. Some drivers will adjust fast, others will not. So your priorities decide everything. If you want premium comfort and refinement, Tesla already sells that. If you want the cheapest path into the Tesla ecosystem, entry level means compromise. That is not a flaw, that is the point. What the factory choice can tell you about Tesla's plan. Now let us talk about something most people ignore: where this car might actually be built. If Tesla builds this car in one of its more mature factories, the kind that has already proven it can produce high volumes, it signals one thing. Tesla wants tight control early on, fast fixes, fast learning, fast ramp, because Tesla does not just need a cheaper car. Tesla needs a cheaper car that can scale. If this project delivers, it is not another trim, it is a reset. So what should you do? Buy now or wait? Here is a simple way to decide. Consider buying the Model Y Standard now if you need a vehicle soon and waiting creates real costs. You want the size and body style of the Model Y specifically. You value a proven product today more than a promised product tomorrow. You can accept that a cheaper Tesla might arrive later and you will still feel good about your purchase. Consider waiting if your priority is maximum value per dollar, not maximum size. You can delay without pain. You would strongly regret buying right before Tesla reveals a much cheaper entry model. You are willing to accept fewer premium features to save money. Now the most important line in this entire video: your real risk is not missing the Model Y Standard. Your real risk is buying right before Tesla changes the value baseline. Because if Tesla launches a compact entry Tesla around $30,000, the Model Y Standard will not look like Tesla's affordable future. It will look like the last step before it. Finally, question now. I want your answer in the comments, and I want it in one sentence. Are you team buy now or team wait for the cheaper Tesla? And what is your non-negotiable? Price, range, comfort, or technology? If you want more breakdowns that focus on smart buyer decisions instead of hype, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.